When a bike gets updated for a new year, most of the time it's cosmetic fluff, new colors, slightly different stickers, a price hike you're supposed to ignore. That is not what happened here. Like the revamped Trident 660, the 2026 Triumph Tiger Sport 660 gets a proper, meaningful upgrade. The headline is simple, and honestly, kinda wild. 14 extra horsepower. That's not a tweak, that's a statement. And Triumph managed to do it while keeping the bike inside the tightly controlled A2 license rules, pushing it closer to the Tiger Sport 800 without stepping on its toes. That alone tells you how carefully this update was engineered. Let's talk about why this matters. The outgoing Tiger Sport 660 already had a solid reputation. It was comfortable, approachable, and practical. But if there was one quiet criticism, it was this. It's good, but it could use more punch. Triumph listened. Power jumps from roughly 80 horsepower to 94 horsepower, which is a 17% increase, while the price only goes up by £300. That's a 3.3% increase in cost for a huge jump in performance. In a world where inflation exists, that's honestly hard to argue with. On paper, you're paying more. In reality, you're getting better value. So how did Triumph pull this off without starting from scratch? Simple answer. They already had the parts. Triumph has an entire family of 3-cylinder bikes. The Daytona 660, the Tiger Sport 800, the updated Trident 660. Instead of reinventing the wheel, Triumph borrowed intelligently. The biggest change is the move from one throttle body to 3. One for each cylinder. That alone transforms how the engine breathes. But it doesn't stop there. You get a revised cylinder head, compression bumped up to 12:1, a bigger airbox, revised exhaust headers, and new engine maps. The redline jumps from 10,250 revolutions per minute to 12,650 revolutions per minute, and peak power now arrives higher in the rev range at 11,250 revolutions per minute. Torque also rises from 64 Newton meters to 68 Newton meters. And yes, peak torque now comes in later. But here's the important part Triumph keeps repeating for a reason. They say 80% of maximum torque is available from just 3,000 revolutions per minute. That means this bike isn't gutless down low. It's just more eager up top. In real-world riding, that translates to flexibility. You don't have to ride it hard for it to feel alive. But when you do, it finally rewards you. This engine update also forced a chassis change. The 3-throttle setup is wider, so the steel tubular frame had to be adjusted to make room. Luckily, Triumph already did this work on the Tiger Sport 800, so they weren't guessing. Geometry stays familiar. Suspension is carried over but remains well chosen. You still get Showa 41mm upside-down forks up front and a Showa monoshock at the rear with preload adjustment. Brakes are unchanged too. Dual 310mm discs with Nissan calipers up front and cornering ABS at both ends thanks to the 6-axis IMU. Weight does go up slightly. The bike now tips the scales at 211 kilograms wet, about 4 kilos more than before. Is that ideal? No. Is it worth it? Absolutely. The extra performance more than makes up for it. Despite the Tiger name, this is still very much a road-focused machine. 17-inch wheels front and rear, Michelin Road 5 tires, upright riding position, high bars. Long days in the saddle are clearly part of the plan. For 2026, the visual updates bring it closer to the Tiger Sport 800. New side panels, bigger radiator cowls, a more substantial front end. The fuel tank grows too, from 17.2 liters to 18.6 liters. Fuel economy dips slightly, but range actually improves, rising to around 235 miles. That's a touring-friendly number. Seat height stays at 835 millimeters, with an optional low seat bringing it down to 810 millimeters. The windscreen remains height adjustable with one hand, moving through a generous range. Heated grips and handguards are optional. This isn't luxury forced on you. It's choice. Now let's address the one real criticism, the instruments. You get a mixed LCD and color TFT setup with Triumph's My Triumph connectivity. It does navigation, music, calls, and all the things you expect. Functionally, it's fine. Visually, it's starting to feel dated, especially now that full-color TFTs are becoming the norm even in this class. It works, it just doesn't wow. That's probably the Tiger Sport 660's biggest weakness in 2026, and even then, it's hardly a deal breaker. In terms of rivals, this update changes the landscape. The Kawasaki Versys 650 now feels underpowered by comparison, even if it's cheaper. The Yamaha Tracer 7 keeps up on torque but not power, and its semi-auto AMT version is the only real wildcard. The Suzuki V-Strom 800RE still brings torque and size, but it's heavier and more expensive. And suddenly, the Tiger Sport 660 is knocking on the door of bikes like BMW's F900XR at a much lower price point. That's a strong place to be. Here's the real win. The Tiger Sport 660 still works perfectly for A2 riders. Restrict it, learn on it, live with it. And when you graduate to a full A license, you remove the restrictor, and suddenly you're riding a genuinely quick, capable middleweight. That's not something most bikes in this segment can say. Final verdict? This update fixes the Tiger Sport 660's biggest weakness without breaking what made it popular. More power, better value, same usability. It remains one of the smartest middleweight sport tourers you can buy in 2026, and now it finally feels like it's playing at the top of its class. Not louder, not flashier, just better where it counts. Rev Nation, out.